If you are a young Chinese, chances are your grandparents only know how to speak in Chinese dialects, while you know only English and Chinese. However, you can somehow understand the Chinese dialect. There's a reason for this very weird phenomenon in Singapore, so watch on. So, I know there are likely some linguists watching this, so let me just add this disclaimer. Yes, technically speaking, Hokkien or Cantonese might not be called dialect, but most people know them as dialects, so we'll just call them dialects in this video lah. So, moving on, before anything, we need to look at Malaysia, our closest neighbor. Different regions have different cultures, so let's look at the two cities that are as close to our demographics as possible, Ipoh and KL. In fact, if you go to these two cities, you'll think that you're in Singapore, but with lousier food. But anyways, say wrong. Sorry, In fact, if you go to these two cities, you'll think that you're in Singapore, but with lousier laksa, chicken rice, papute, and Hokkien mee. But anyways, over in these cities, the Chinese community usually speak Cantonese, Malay, and English. They also know Chinese, but don't use it that much. Although nowadays, more people are using Chinese there. You see, here's the thing. If, over in Singapore, we do not have a unique policy, we'll likely also reach this stage due to the similarities in culture. The reason is simple. Back in the past, the Chinese community from Singapore and Malaysia communicate mainly in Chinese dialects of Malay. To get a better understanding, you can watch Jack News long time ago. So, it's natural that soon, we started to learn English, since it's kind of the most spoken language worldwide. This is why people in say Ipoh can usually speak English, Cantonese, Hokkien, Malay, and Chinese. I get the idea lah. This is natural. But in Singapore, it's different. Instead of letting young Singaporeans organically pick up the languages, the government started the Speak Mandarin campaign back in 1979. You see, back in 1966, shortly after we gained independence, our goal was then to have a policy of a bilingual education for us to learn English and our mother tongue. Yes, it's a calculated move to make Chinese Singaporeans to be proficient in English and Chinese. And with the US and China being the superpowers now, I now wonder if those policymakers in the past also have superpowers to see the future. The Speak Mandarin campaign was started because despite requiring students to learn English and their mother tongue, Chinese students still didn't pass their Chinese exams as they were speaking other Chinese dialects like Hokkien, Teochew, Cantonese, and Hakka at home. Therefore, the goal of the campaign is to encourage people to speak Mandarin through outreach programs. However, there were also some rules that might not go that well with some people. For example, it said that in public domains like hospitals, public officers are required to speak Mandarin to anyone below 60 years old. But one of the more aggressive moves is to phrase out Hong Kong TV shows that were in Cantonese and to only show Hong Kong shows that were in Mandarin. That's a big deal, given that TV were then people's only source of entertainment.
It's like on YouTube, I started to talk like this now. Oh, you like it? Okay, I'll continue with this. Basically, many of the things they saw and heard were just Mandarin, even when many of them were communicating in dialects. There were a lot more things done, and with that, it's extremely successful. Therefore, anyone who's born after 1980 likely won't know dialects well and would know Mandarin instead. Now, of course, remember, as kids learn Mandarin, the grandparents are continuing to use dialects, which explains why youngsters nowadays don't know dialects while the seniors are still using dialects. Interestingly, to counter the usage of Singlish, another campaign called the Speak Good English movement was introduced in Singapore too, back in 2000. But unlike the Speak Mandarin campaign, it didn't work that well.
Given that we are still long now. Now, if you want to know more about Singlish, watch this. And thank you for spending almost 3 minutes with me. I really appreciate it.